Hello interweb, this is Dannage. Welcome back. Okay, so I haven't really done anything much since the last episode. What I have done, I've left this still going, is I have hooked up. I've done a 3x3 and a 3x3 lot there of cargo for the initial cargo set, and then for the capsule refinery it's got another set of 3 and 3, and then for the what would be the ultimate storage block there's another sort of set of 3 and 3. I'm actually I've got some more space I can use, or more cargo space I can use, so I'm actually going to make this. I've got another 18. So that cargo is now all of my end output. Now this only has to be temporary. I can refactor all of this as and when I come in, because I probably want to make a slightly better entrance and everything. But for now, let's see where that is. That's at 1% now. It's got 7,000 storage worth. Let's bung in. Let's see if I can get rid of all of this stuff. Because the more I can get rid of, the more I don't need it in my personal cargo. Look at that. Look at that. Got rid of it all. Okay. 1.9k volume worth of stuff going on. We've still got some cargo in the ship, because that is the other thing I had done within the ship. If you connect your salvage block to a cargo, then whenever you salvage, things just come straight into your cargo bay. So we come out of that again, and we go and we say, oh well, yeah, well, we want to dump all of our stuff. Thanks very much. We want to get rid of all of our cargo, and we want to stick as much of the illicit gains. No, I haven't got enough room for that. So we leave that for now, but we leave that in our own little parked space here. Now what we do here is we put some sand in, and some lava, because we don't need these things. They won't be used to produce anything, but later we might find that they're useful for helping us to prevent the reorganization, sort of moving some stuff over there. But look, we've got 30,000 of these, so really cargo, capsule refinery, cargo is what I tend to do. I will mark these as sort of ore processing, and they're effectively just the dump. You just dump your stuff in there. You get the capsule refinery to pull the stuff from it, turn it into sexy capsule things, and then those guys then dump the information back into there. This I haven't got working on anything at the moment. I'm going to use another couple of factory enhancers. And what I do is I'll take the first one, you see, and while I'm in there, I'll put that on top. I'm not actually in the build block, am I? Am I? No, I'm not. So why don't I go put the build? There we go. Because what that means is now he's building 2 at a time. I just put a bunch in there. These aren't, of course, that's not working properly because I've got, hang on, no, that's connected to it. Right, well, you learn something new once every day. What I should have done is I should have connected that to that set. If you hold down shift, it will connect to a group of linked things at once. So that's working there. So this should be working a bit quicker now. That's still only pulling 500 at a time. So sometimes you may find that your capture refineries end up overflowing because you put some enhancers in there for them to go nice and quick. But actually, you're not pulling, because I'm only pulling 500 at a go. When you move into bigger territory, that's going not to be enough. But we've got some space there. We've effectively got some cargo space done, so we don't really need to do a tremendous amount more at the moment for our build. The space station is going off and doing its thing. What we need to do now is that's a lot of stations. I hope they're not pirate stations. What we need to do is find a place that is away from, there's a bunch of shops, but what we want is somewhere relatively neutral, away from stations, where we can head down and go and do some more mining. Feels very much like we just bounced off the station a couple of times. The other thing I did increase slightly, I did put 4 extra boosters on each side because the boat was a little bit sluggish, shall we say. Now there she goes, just walking down the street singing I could put some hull down for this. We're gonna do that in a little while. We want to make sure the base is all right there. We want to see. I've come up with my faction colour is a sort of brownish, sort of khaki. That's all right, not a problem. We are heading for some rocks. We are gonna find out whether that. Oh yeah, oh, we've found some. Rammet and Surtees, I suspect, is something that I've already mined, but we'll go down there anyway. We'll head down there. 3,000 kilometers to go. Mining range is about 1,000, I think. If you go in here and you have a look, they say, oh, it's 960 range. Almost in a. This is back in the laggy system. Now in range, so get some stuff going. Now, generally, your invincible home base. It's invincible, so it doesn't really matter what it's got on it. Whoa! Yeah, turn around, you beast. The idea, you should be able to just now leave your home base. You don't need to oversee it doing all that suction. That's why we left all the cargo space there, because we're confident that with the amounts that we're drawing out and that we're taking in terms of cargo space, there's enough cargo space for all the bits so that it will actually work, and therefore we just take a few more shavings from this. And we may have sold some of our stuff here. Let me see. So that's purple. So I'm pretty sure we had some purple rocks and. Wow, I'm looking in the wrong place, aren't I? Because I've got a cargo block up here. Yeah, but we've got those things. So Larimar we haven't had any of because we sold all of our Larimar. We've also got a fair amount of ice that we're going in here, and we may end up making a ship made out of ice. That will be uninteresting. But there we go. We just drag some of those. Have I got another Hotel Highlight? Pretty sure I've used already. It's all Rammet and Surtees. Let us go closer to the middle, whilst very deliberately avoiding. There we go. All right, Bastion and Vertikine. That's another material. We wanted to avoid stations, but we do want to. Looks like there's Bastion and Vertikine as well. All right, so couple of rocks here, which are of a different material to that which we have already grabbed some of. I think that one's going to be a little bit different as well, which is useful. What you want to do is you want to basically find at least one of every type of asteroid. Now they do respawn, so as long as you found one, you should be alright. What's it doing? I'm not sure. It's all very twitchy tonight. I say tonight because this is actually, I've got to the stage where, I was getting a little bit irritated. Episode 3. I'm actually recording episode 3, 4 and 5 all in one go. And that'll be very much, if that's mucked up, then I know that, I should just quit. But let's assume that we're not going to have to do that. What I will do is I will take a break in terms of the recording. I will mine that asteroid and I will be back. And we are back. Didn't finish mining the asteroid. Didn't really take much more off it, to be fair. But I did sort of fill my cargo hold by sort of 75%. And I've got to be aware that does seriously impeach my cargo hold if I start getting too far into it. So I'm just break. So I shall look at the cargo hold. I shall grab as much of this stuff as I can get. You get some different. That material that icon looks ever so slightly different. The green looks a little bolder. I'll move down here, move into our build block, and then we say that's another reason for knowing which way's the first, because if you get in and your view is sort of default view. I'll get you in round the back. Now I haven't taken much out of this at all. Crikey. But I've got some new colours. So I'll put some new colours in here. Red dirt doesn't go. So this is the asteroid stuff now. Is that you get a green ore called Vertikine. Green crystal is Bastin, and then Lucra is the rock. So that's yellow rock, and red dirt is the terrain piece. And you see all those things going on. With Capture Refinery, don't really care what order it's sucking these things in at. But now we've got some more bits to worry about. So we'll reorder these a little bit. We say Lucra is yellow and Hattel is yellow. That's great. I got 3 rock colours. And Rammet. Right, now the other thing I can do is I can move my red dirt into there because there's not much that it can do, and again it can stop. It can just stop these things from reordering themselves too badly. What I do have white, yellow. So if I put then I'll put green there. I'll put green there and green there. That's Dolom, so I can put that there. So I've got my white. So Parsine, Sapsum, and Dolom. That's great. And if you like, you can go, oh, that's slightly thicker, that's slightly thicker again. And then I've got Lucra, which is my yellow one. Now I don't have the yellow, which is Threns. But I got my yellow crystal there, and I got my green rock, and my green crystal, and my green ore. And then in the absence of anything else, now this is black. I'll put black at the end. I'll put purple in there. Purple and purple is blue, but I need some other stuff to go first. I do have some Larimar to put in there, so I should put some Larimar in there. And then we'll get on to some building, shall we? We'll get on to some building soon, because I'm sure you're all champing at the bit to see what wonders I can produce. And you will still be wondering that after I've produced everything, thinking, where are the wonders? Where are the wonders? Well, it's the wonder of you. But I do like it when it starts getting all the sort of different colours in there. It's nice to have full stocks. I think there's orange and red. I don't seem to have any oranges and reds. We've got some blues missing. So white, black, green. So we need the yellow, we need the orange and the red for the ores. So yellow, orange and red. So we've got 9 to 11 things missing. Well, there's our Larimar. So we'll put that up there for now. We've got 9 and 10. So we have got many more resources to find. In the meantime, what are we building here? Oh, nothing. Right, so we should get on with some grey. Get on with some grey hull and activate that production. Should have been leaving that running really while we were going, but never mind, never mind. The important thing is we're all here, we're all healthy, we're all happy. Dun 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 dun. Okay, we'll go just a little bit there. What I will do now is, now that's producing, I think it's time that we had a bit of wedging. Right, because it will be grey hull wedge. There we go. Now, the grey hull wedge requires grey hull, which requires alloyed metal mesh and crystal composite. So that is now working along its way there. It's chugging along, chugging along. What we can also do is we can also say, oh, well, I'll take 50 out of here and I'll stick that in there, which means that'll be going on, doing its thing. That's at 97%. I'll stick the remainder of my Varus in. Probably won't know, not my Lucra's not enough. I've got too much. 400.2. So I'll take another 400. Gets me up. Oh, I was on 97.8. No. And then I'll take 5,000 of that, see if that works. Oh, well, then that definitely wouldn't, would it? So you leave that going. Really, you could just put bigger more cargo space there. I do have 11, but probably more useful if I put that on my boat. Now I can go over here, split that up, and then take those. Ha 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 ha! If you try, the reason I split that up is because I didn't want it to give me everything back, and the reason I'm coming back down here is because I'm thinking that I probably need a few more thrusters. So thruster, a block thruster, crystal composite, alloyed metal mesh. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I've got a butt ton of that stuff. Here we go. Right, so we go in there. We go build mode. Yeah, we got our symmetry on. Always worth checking, especially if you're moving between objects, to make sure that the symmetry is still where you want it, because sometimes you come back and the symmetry goes, oh, I'm over there, especially when you're working with turrets, and then you find that your symmetry is very upsetting. But on the assumption that you then say, alright, I've got something I want to do here, again, so I haven't got a specific plan, but I'm thinking, well, maybe some thrusters at the side will be alright. I'll come back out, I'll go back down and collect some more. Where's my station? Gone, there's my station. And you can see the cargo, when you're outside, when you're not in build mode, you can't see the sort of yellow cargo zones. You can see what's being taken alongside it, so that cargo is full. Very much the entry cargo is all full and used up. The capture refinery is only using a little bit of storage, and then the ultimate cargo, the big storage, is using not a tremendous amount. Just check the capture refinery isn't blowing itself up. Nope, so that's fine. And then you stop that, because you're not going to need more than 100. Not at this stage of the game, my son. So you change that back to be producing some grey hull. You could produce dark grey hull, because dark grey hull also doesn't require anything other than metal mesh, possibly crystal composite. Same as grey hull, basically. But you don't need any paint. Is the point. With the other ones, all other hulls, you will require paint. We just leave that as it is. And we say 4 of them. Stick them there. Stick them there. Stick them there. Yeah, 35 I don't think is going to give me enough. Oh, no, right, so I need 24. Right, so now I can assume, and this is where we start coming into noob advice again. There is, I think I mentioned before when we were talking about the plan and having the plan and saying, oh, yep, I'm going to build, I'm building one of these, therefore I'm going to build something like this. Quite often you will find that you just think, oh, I'll build as I'm going, I'll see what happens. That sometimes yields surprising results, surprisingly bad in some cases, and surprisingly right in some others. So there's no need to immediately assume that you have to have some magical plan. You can say, no, well, look, I'm thinking some angles, but my angles largely are going to at least start off over here and just work around what I've built. So as I said, some of this stuff was a bit randomly placed, some of it not so much, but then you can say, right, so I'll have some of that there, and then I'll create, take that out, I'm not creating anything specifically sexy or in any way sexy, but you normally find spaceships like angles. You have some angles in there and immediately you're not looking dreadful. Put some slabs in, and slabs can be used to reduce. I mean, if you had an entire block sticking out there, it would obviously look crazy. You could put, let's do that. Put some slabs down the sides there as well. Or change your mind and think, slabs down the side might be alright, but what about if I had slabs on the bottom? Because then it will look a bit cooler from the side, and there's no reason I can't finish that off. So there you've already got something that has got a little bit of texture, despite the fact that I'm only using 3 blocks, because the thrusters have got their own texture. If I go over on this side, it might be a bit better lit. The thrusters have their own texture. You've also got grey hull, and then you can introduce. All you're doing there is you're saying, I'm not going to go straight into that. I will sort of step it a little bit, and then it just breaks up the lines a little bit, and that's often all you need, is to break up some lines, but not in a crazy way, because sometimes people just go a bit mental with line breaks, and they're all over the place just trying to do quite random things. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go across there and paint myself into a corner completely with that last block. No idea what I'm going to do there. Maybe I'll cover it completely. Who knows? Maybe I'm feeling in that kind of playful mood. So what I could do is I could block that off completely. I'm crazy. I'm a rebel. Look at me. Check me out. Look at what I'm doing. I'm out of control. I can even do that. No. If you like a lot of thruster on your biscuit, join my club. Right, and there you go. I've now got, if I start moving, I've got some engine stuff, but I've now got something that looks tiny little bit spaceshipy just around the edges, and I've also got a ship that will fly at 375 because the amount of boosters that I've got now, or the thrusters that I've got compared to the rest of the mass of the ship, is huge. I could end up just going really quickly. I don't need to. Okay, so I think we'll leave it there. We've done a little tiny bit of spaceship. We'll do some other bits. We need to put some shields in, really. Now I'd be tempted to put some weapons alongside here, but I'm thinking maybe I'll carry on that sort of general shape for the rest of the nose, and then I might leave all the salvages there. I might get a couple more salvages. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 5, so I need 20 more salvage units. That won't be too expensive to buy at the shop. And then I've basically got a sort of slow, small salvager. But if we think back to what my plan was for this, the idea is I want to make a fleet, and I want to make a fleet that can then become a faction. So if I just look at blueprints, I believe that you can now, when you save the blueprint, that has to be of an entered structure, so it would help if I entered it, which is why that wasn't hung up. Now I need to be able to say, right, this is what this thing is for. This will be a little, well, it's difficult to know what they plan on all of those things doing. So is it a scout? Is it going to be a little mining ship? I think it's going to be a little mining ship, and we'll call it the Maurice Mark II, although it's about the 90th version I've ended up starting. Thanks internet, or thanks computer. So what we will do is we will make sure that, and we will also make sure that the permissions don't allow us to give that to anybody else, because we don't want anybody using that at the moment. Ooh. But we want to create a fleet that is a functioning fleet that does a few bits like this. So it has little mining ships, and mining ships don't need to be big, because ultimately you want little mining ships that actually go back and assist a mothership, or use a mothership to dock. So I don't think the overall dimensions will be bigger than pretty much what we've got here. So we will start off with the nice sort of the miner. Then we will move to creating some other ships. So we're basically just going to, we'll allow this to develop organically. Then we will go from there to figure out what the look of the fleet would be like, because we'll create something in it. So I'm thinking sort of creating along that line, and then just we'll have some functional stuff down here in the sides. We'll leave these thrusters because they need to be able to thrust. So then this back here is going to be a little bit of machinery, maybe some living quarters, maybe some very short-term crew facilities. Okay, right, well, we'll get back to that in a later episode. Thanks, bye-bye.